During last night's Asian session, we saw EURUSD push up higher after it was confirmed that there is going to be a US government shutdown. This again has sparked a lot of traders to start selling the dollar again and has caused EURUSD overall to push up higher after that dollar weakness. But despite that, I'm still simply looking for a dollar long position as the technicals still align for myself, as you can see here on my screen. Now, yesterday I took an initial entry, and I'm just going to clean up my chart for you guys. But yesterday I took an initial entry here on the overall liquidity high. So you can see that price is around my entry level, and I put my stop loss well above this overall strong high here, which previously broke market structure in towards the downside. Now, for myself, this here is the overall impulsive phase in towards the downside. This here is the overall liquidity high, and I'm simply looking for the market to start selling off from this kind of like region of price. The way that the market has come in towards that liquidity high now is pretty much with a 1, 2, 3. So we've seen a 1 high, a second high, and a third high. And I'm now looking to identify the next market structure shift, which could push EURUSD further in towards the downside. So again, Fabio, why the hell are you still looking for a dollar long despite this US government shutdown thing? Well, overall, the risk has been muted, as I've been reading in the past. So again, everybody's now in my DMs saying, Fabio, should I sell the dollar? Fabio, should I sell the dollar? Well, that's most often kind of like a script for actually taking dollar longs. So I don't focus too much on the headlines. I'm just focusing purely on the technicals for now. And technicals, again, really do align for a potential EURUSD short. Now, I must say this initial entry that I took is extremely risky. So if you are in it kind of like from here, you can close that position. For myself, again, I'm taking it just some funded challenges, so I don't really care. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. From today onwards, because today is the 1st of October, I'm trading live capital again, so I am again looking for EURUSD shorts, but the actual short that I want to be taking on my personal live capital is once we close below this free monthly level. So what I'm currently looking for is for a strong bearish candle close. Then we form here an area of supply, and then I'll be looking for the overall retest of that supply to then further short it in towards the downside. Now, the main reason I'm looking for that overall short position again on EURUSD is for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to keep it extremely simple again for you, because once you watch this analysis, I think you'll understand why Fabio is looking for a short position. So again, I'm putting my everything on the table and just showing you exactly what I'm looking for. So here we had a break of structure in towards the upside. Here we had a break of structure in towards the upside. Now, what do we expect after a break of structure taking place? After a break of structure, overall, you expect a retracement to take place, right? Now, when do we expect that retracement to take place? Once we see a change of character. So, for example, here we had a big impulse in towards the highs, after which at some point in time, we started seeing a retracement in towards the downside. Now, when did the overall retracement happen in towards the downside? Well, this overall impulsive leg was so impulsive that there was not really any fractal structure, but overall, we expected when fractal structure is broken, okay? So, if we, for example, zoom in here on the 4-hour time frame, on EURUSD, we expected the overall pullback phase to occur once this low over here broke and this demand zone over here filled. So you can see initially this demand zone gave some bullish reactions, but obviously we're trading in a very impulsive phase after, again, also this 4-hour break of structure. So we expect at some point in time a pullback to happen. So here demand failed, we broke market structure, and from that point onwards, the overall supply chain kept pushing the market down lower and lower until at some point in time we grabbed major liquidity underneath these ascending lows, and after that happened, that is when the market kind of continued pushing in towards the highs. After which eventually we saw another sell-off in towards the downside. But the key moral of the story is, guys, we expect a pullback to happen once we see a change of character happening after the break of structure line. So for myself here on EURUSD, after breaking market structure here in towards the upside, what has now happened is that we've seen a change of character take place on this low over here. So this here for me is a change of character low, meaning that we've now seen a market structure shift in towards the downside over here. Now, when I look here to the left, there's nothing really that can, let's say, make me believe that EURUSD is ready for the next massive impulse in towards the highs. For myself at the moment, EURUSD is inside of a supply zone, and only once that supply zone were, for example, to break, then maybe we could start seeing an impulsive phase again in towards the highs. But for now, this supply zone remains in control, and therefore I'm looking for another sell-off in towards the downside. Because for myself, when I look here at all of these lows, this is for me pretty much the main liquidity low that I at least would want to see get taken out before the next massive impulse in towards the highs, okay? Another low that we could consider to be a relatively good liquidity low is this low over here, but that's really just the two lows that I'm focusing on to cause the next major reversal. Yes, we're currently reacting to the 0.5 fib, but for myself, we're now shorting at a premium, and I'm therefore looking for that next and final leg in towards the downside. Now, the main reason for that is because when we, for example, last time, when we look at, let's say, this impulse up, and then we have the overall pullback happening here, this kind of like reversal up higher, like where did it happen from? Yeah, maybe from, let's say, this sell for the buy here, but it's not the strongest sell down for the buy up because it didn't, for example, liquidate anything. It didn't, let's say, take out some lows and then, for example, reversing towards the highs, giving us a V-shaped reaction and making that demand zone strong. So this was a weak demand zone, and the same is kind of like at these levels. There's still many lows open, which I would want to see get taken first before any real potential continuation play in towards the upside. Also, when we look at kind of like a major liquidity low for myself, when we look at, for example, this impulse in towards the highs over here, we have a major bump in the road. And the only time that I'm then looking for EURUSD long is once this high over here breaks, and then we can look for the over continuation because this was the daily fractal high that kind of confirmed that we were ready to push up higher again. So yeah, that's for me EURUSD. I'm just looking for another impulse in towards the downside, towards those overall liquidity lows, and then I'm translating that into a 4-hour potential trade. So the potential 4-hour trade that I then see is that, okay, when we look at, for example, this impulse down here, because let's say we look at the internal market structure, which is now bearish, this here for me is an impulse. Inside of that impulse, I have a bump in the road. The bump in the road has been taken out multiple times without fractal confirmation though yet. So the current fractal low is situated over here together with the 3-monthly level. So if we see a strong bearish candle close, then that would be a nice area of supply aligning with the 3-monthly open, and then we could look for a potential short opportunity. So that's currently the trade that I'm eyeing up there on EURUSD, and the way that it would look here on the dollar. And again, you can see I've been waiting for the order flow shift to happen here on the dollar index. Hasn't happened yet. What has happened is that we have taken out major liquidity. So this fake area of demand, again, a fake demand zone because there's no liquidity in the overall impulse up. So the fake demand zone has been taken. We've now seen a 1, 2, 3. So we've seen 3 lows established, which is often a reversal pattern. So what I'm now waiting for is for the fractal high here to break. Once that fractal high breaks, then I'll look for the retest of the 3-monthly open level, and then I'll look for the long position to be taken, because then we form a nice area of demand here on the overall sell before the buy. So that's what I'm waiting for. If you want confirmation for a dollar long position, then wait for the fractal structure to shift. Again, that's what I'm going to be doing to trade on live capital, and that would for me be the ideal potential position to be taking. Furthermore, this is a strong area of demand here, so we could again sell off further and push in towards this demand zone. We don't need to, but it would be nice. And this is a strong demand zone because it took out liquidity here to the left. So looking for that demand zone to get hit, and then for longs, or just for price now to push up, and then we break the fractal high here, and then this sell before the buy becomes demand, and then we can look for the further upside. So that's kind of like the confirmation I'm then looking for on the dollar, because for me, again, the dollar, I am aiming for 99.074. It's taking its time, but I would just love to see it get hit towards the end of the week / in towards next week. I could, again, be definitely wrong. I don't know. But all I'm doing is just playing with the overall probability. And for me, the probability is higher that it's going to push in towards the highs. But again, I could be wrong. So don't just blindly do what I say, but actually wait for the confirmation and then look to see if it aligns also with your own analysis. But for me, that's what I'm waiting for. So if it happens, then I'll make some good money. And once that happens, I'll be trading it on live capital as well. Today's the 1st of October. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm trading on live capital again, as my September month is now over. I already stopped trading after like 1.5 / 2 weeks, and now because I already reached some profit target for the month, and now I'm just gonna get into some live positions again once that fractal structure shifts and we see a confirmation that this internal bearish order flow here is ready to go bullish instead of bearish, because now obviously we're seeing buy before the sells in control. Looking here at the 1 hour time frame, nice descending market structure, always a good sign after what was a very impulsive move in towards the downside. So what I mean with that descending market structure is that you're kind of seeing like a break of the low, retracement, break of the low, retracement, break of the low, straight away retracement. So the bears are not so much in control anymore. I think kind of like the news and the headlines about that government shutdown are becoming the narrative, and everybody's starting to look to sell the dollar. But I'm looking to buy it. So let's see if I'm right. Could be wrong, but let's see. GBPUSD, also looking for a sell on that. At the moment, what I'm waiting for is for the market structure to shift. So what I need here is the fractal low to break. What has happened again is a strong impulse down. We're currently in the impulsive phase on the higher time frame. So what I mean by that is here we have a strong impulse in towards the downside. This is your daily impulse. And this was the retracement phase, and now the green phase is again the impulsive phase. So I'm looking for the overall impulsive phase to continue down lower. And now for the confirmation, what do we need to see that impulsive phase start? Well, we need a fractal low break. This here is the fractal low. So once that breaks down, then I'll have my short that I'm happy to take. GBPUSD could still push up higher in towards supply here. If it does, then again, what do we wait for? We wait for the market structure to shift. So as simple as that, once market structure shifts, I'll get into a short. If it doesn't provide me with that market structure shift, I won't get into a short. And yeah, then my analysis is invalid. So no need to say, Fabio, GBPUSD is a buy, EURUSD is a buy. Like, fine by me. If you think that, it can definitely still push up higher in towards supply. I agree. But if it already starts selling off now and this bump in the road is enough to start pushing it down and it gives me the fractal structure shift, then I'll be happy to get into a sell, an initial sell position. And then maybe I'll put my stop loss here above this strong high, or I'll put it above the fractal high. That is yet to be determined, as the overall target for GBPUSD for myself is still these equal lows here around 1st of August and the low of the 13th of May. Now for AUDUSD has continued to push up higher, but has sold off a little bit overnight after again grabbing the high over here. For myself, not really a pair that I'm a big fan of trading. Rejecting the free monthly open here. I mean, this could sell off at any point in time, but it's not a pair that I'm necessarily looking to short, in the sense that if you are then looking to long the dollar, I would rather express that bias through a EURUSD or a GBPUSD short, as I like a little bit more how those are looking, and the Australian dollar is a little bit stronger, and also the Australian dollar is relatively more bullish as well if we look here at the overall kind of like swing up. And we've rejected the discount pricing, and we're kind of like near the fractal highs. So yeah, for me, this is not the ideal setup to be taking. However, the free monthly open level is obviously nice straight away from the get-go, but let's see what happens here. We did take out this kind of like liquidity high over here, the bump in the road, so it could sell off, but I'll be looking to express that again, that short on a EU or a GU. NZDUSD is nearing the overall liquidity high. Once that gets taken out, then I can look for a short. Until then, I'm staying out of this, so I'm waiting for this internal high here to get taken, or for this high here to get taken, and then I'll be happy to look for short after a market structure shift. As simple as that, as the overall momentum and market structure is bearish, with us obviously forming a high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we're just looking for the next lower high. So again, short it. Then we have USDCHF, USD yen, USDCAD and gold. So USDCHF retraced into my demand zone over here, and once this gives kind of like bullish confirmation, so here breaks the fractal high, then you could look for a long again. But until then, staying out, and if you're looking for a short, wait for demand to fill, and then you could look for an overall short position. USDJPY sold off aggressively after the yen basket pushed up higher, so the yen basket gained a lot of strength after it was announced, obviously, about that US government shutdown. So uncertainty in the world is causing the yen and the Swiss franc to appreciate to a certain extent. Hence why we're seeing now the yen get so strong, again rejecting the yearly open, taking out massive liquidity, as now going for all of these descending highs. So who knows how far this can go, but it still has room to go, and USDJPY is therefore extremely, extremely weak. Again, I was looking for a long yesterday, but didn't give me anything here, so no fractal confirmation, no nothing. So yeah, no loss taken, but also no trade provided. And yeah, that's USDJPY in a nutshell. Wait for this to just reaccumulate again, because this thing is a madman. Like, it's just stuck kind of like back within the overall range, right? So what just happened again is that we raided the overall range high, raided the range low here, so we could just keep selling off. This is not something that I really want to be trading at the moment. USDCAD, very consolidative and slow. Not also really a pair that I'm looking to trade at the moment. It's still relatively bullish, and I wouldn't be looking to short this until we take out the blue dotted line. So I'm more favoring kind of like a next leg up, and that leg up could happen from this demand zone over here. And we've taken out internal liquidity with this low being taken out, but you can see it's consolidative, so maybe wait for the impulsive phase to start again before getting into new long positions. And then we have gold, of course. Gold continues pushing up higher after that dollar uncertainty, because gold is, yeah, well, that against the uncertainty, whatever way you want to put it. We took out that liquidity low that I mentioned yesterday, and again, liquidation, and then we look for the upside continuation. Didn't really give a 50-minute change of character until here. But from there, you can see that's when you kind of like want to get into the longs. You just want to be aggressive in how you take these setups. So again, congratulations if you followed the advice of just waiting for liquidation and then looking for the long position, because then again on gold, you could have capitalized. Now, when it comes to looking for new positions on gold, just again, wait for liquidation. So now we, for example, have a low here of liquidation. We have a low here of liquidation. So you would need to see those lows get taken. I wouldn't look at this demand zone to go long. I would wait for the demand zone to kind of like get taken and then look for a long position. So yeah, wait for reaccumulation and then kind of like for any fake out. So with a fake out, I, for example, mean that we now see a break of this high over here, then everybody thinks this is the demand zone to go long. Wait for that demand zone to get taken out and then look for the long position to actually happen. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry for being a little bit late. I had a rough night, but all good, and see you guys tomorrow again.